Hello, I'm Movie Hanger, and this is the film The Watchers. Lost in the forest, a girl discovers a strange bunker inhabited by three recluses. Every night, mysterious creatures watch them through a glass wall.
I rock them.
The film begins with a man crossing a so-called point of no return in the forest. As he runs, he promises to bring help.
I'm gonna get help, honey.
But he finds himself in front of the sign again. It's late, a flock of birds flies in the sky, and the man feels uneasy. He tries to escape this oppressive feeling by climbing a tree, but the branch treacherously breaks, and the man falls. Recovering, he crawls towards his backpack to get a knife, peering into the thickening fog. Then something drags him underground, ignoring his helpless screams. The story switches to a girl named Mina. She works at a pet store and gets an assignment to deliver a pedigree parrot to a customer. After bringing the bird home, Mina mourns the death of her mother, which happened exactly 15 years ago. She shares her feelings with the bird, and it turns out the bird can talk.
I'm going out tonight. Try not to die.
Try not to die.
I thought you couldn't talk, you little shit.
She puts on a wig and goes to a bar to meet guys under a fictitious name and identity, firmly believing that the real her isn't attractive to guys. In the morning, the girl begins transporting the bird. At a gas station, Mina listens to a message from her sister regarding the anniversary memorial for their mother. Preoccupied with these important matters, she doesn't notice the numerous missing person posters about tourists in the area. The GPS leads her into a remote forest area where there's no cell signal, and even the radio only emits static. Following an old movie tradition, the car breaks down. Seeing a sign nearby that says "Point of No Return," Mina takes the birdcage and goes to check who lives nearby. Changing her mind along the way, she decides to return to the car, but ends up completely losing her sense of direction. Mina sees a flock of birds flying in a dense formation through the forest. After this, the frightened girl notices a woman running, ignoring her cries for help. Following her, Mina reaches a small building that looks like a bunker. Freezing at the entrance, the woman tells her to run if she wants to survive and begins a countdown. Barely inside, the woman locks the doors securely. There are three people inside. Besides the elderly Madeline, there's a girl named Ciara and a guy named Daniel. Without explaining much, the locals place the newcomer in a row with them in front of a mirrored wall. They tell her that the Watchers are coming. They can't enter the building and won't harm them. The Watchers observe the people through a one-way mirror every night, arriving at dusk and leaving at dawn. Mina is asked to step forward so the mysterious Watchers can assess the newcomer in full view. In the morning, when the mirrored wall becomes just a window and the bunker door is opened, Mina takes the bird and leaves. The others, knowing she won't make it out, let her go easily. Wandering through the forest, Mina sees a figure among the trees and tries to run away. Reaching a cliff, she sees the vast forest spread out around her. Soon, the exhausted girl is found by Madeline. The woman explains that they all tried to escape the forest at one time, but unsuccessfully. Prolonged stay in the forest causes hallucinations. There are markers around the perimeter, signs with the inscription, "Point of No Return." It takes half a day to get to the shelter, and there's a chance they won't make it back before dark. In the evening, Ciara dances for the Watchers, while the others watch an old reality show on TV, which is ironic in context. The viewers themselves are participants in a kind of reality show for the mysterious Watchers. In the morning, the group goes out to gather supplies in the forest. Mina accompanies Ciara, who tells her about her husband John, who left 6 days ago to get help. She also warns the newcomer that seeing the Watchers in person can drive you insane, at least according to Madeline. Ciara shows Mina one of the burrows leading to the underground caves where the Watchers hide during the day. It turns out she and her husband ended up in the bunker about 5 months ago. Later, Mina is explained the rules. Do not turn away from the mirror, do not open the door at night, always stay in the light, and do not approach the burrows.
The Watchers allow us to live because we follow their rules.
Mina has already broken the last rule, but nothing happened to her. In the evening, Mina taps on the mirror and puts her ear to it, trying to hear something outside. Getting no result, she goes to sleep, but then there is an answering tap from the other side. Madeline tells her to stay still and let the Watchers examine her. During the day, Mina goes with Daniel into the forest to check the traps. In the process, she notices a strange human figure in the forest fog. Daniel has been there for 8 months. Mina finds it suspicious that the rules are based on Madeline's words. She doesn't trust the old woman and looks for allies. She takes Daniel to a burrow, asking him to help her descend with a rope. Down there, she finds various junk: a newspaper from April 1992, a video camera, a child's toy, and a rusty bicycle. Mina pulls the bike and the junk in its basket out with the help of Daniel. While waiting for him to throw down the rope, she hears a voice asking what she is doing there. A hand emerges from the darkness, but it smokes and disappears from the light, allowing Mina to climb out. Showing the finds to the others, Mina lies, saying she found them in the forest, not in a burrow where she saw the underground inhabitant. Madeline is not easily fooled and realizes Mina is lying. Daniel connects the camera to the TV, and in the evening, they set it up outside to see the Watchers. Instead of the Watchers, John, Kiera's husband, knocks on the door. Madeline refuses to let him in, thinking it's a trap. To clear doubts, Madeline suggests Sierra test him by asking something only he would know. John fails the test, but when Sierra asks him to show his face on camera, he leans in. It appears to be really him, but before Sierra can open the door, something abruptly drags John away. Something then takes the camera, depriving them of their external view. Madeline orders everyone to line up in front of the mirror, which cracks from a blow. The Watchers express their displeasure. In the morning, Madeline and the others go to the burrow to drop off the items Mina found. In the underground darkness, something drags away the bicycle. Mina is overwhelmed with flashbacks from her childhood when she was being difficult during a family trip and mimicking her mother. Her mother got distracted by her disobedient daughter, leading to a fatal accident. Mina now rightfully blames herself for her mother's death and is afraid to talk to her sister, who witnessed everything. Mina spends her free time usefully by studying the forest and mapping the surroundings with the marker signs. She records the gathered knowledge on the floor of the shelter. One day, Mina notices Kiera going to the burrow just before dark. Missing her husband, she wants to jump down. The girls are distracted from their sad thoughts by Madeline's scream. Daniel has attacked and tied her up to leave her in the forest for the night. Daniel runs away, Kiara follows, and Mina stays behind to untie the woman. Reaching the bunker, they find the door locked.
Open the door, Daniel!
No.
The guy inside doesn't want to let them in. Realizing they can't persuade him, Madeline leads Mina to a hideout opposite the bunker, while Daniel and Kiara stand before the mirror, waiting for the Watchers. From their hideout, Madeline and Mina see creepy creatures emerging from the forest. They stand near the trees, observing through the bunker's viewing window, where only 2 people are visible instead of the usual 4. The monsters scatter into the forest to search for the 2 missing girls. Seizing the moment, Madeline and Mina run to the door. They persuade Daniel to break the rules and open the door. Mina shares the story of her mother's death, which was her fault, to gain trust and leverage his guilt. Emotional pressure works, and they are let in. Madeline understands that breaking the rules will have consequences and orders everyone to line up by the mirror. Simultaneously, she reveals some unpleasant information she had been hiding from her fellow captives. Studying mythology, Madeline had voluntarily come to this forest. Here, she encountered fairies, not the Disney kind, but ancient beings that mimic humans. This is why they watch through the glass, learning to imitate human behavior. To confirm her words, there is a knock at the door, and Chiara's voice outside repeats her recent conversation with her husband. Then, the voices of the other occupants are heard.
What a show we have for you tonight. Yeah, we're all on the edge of our seats.
Suspecting the Watchers intend to break down the door, they brace it with a table. Moving the furniture, the captives notice a hatch in the floor. Here's the moment when you can pause and watch the entire movie yourself, because what follows includes the climax and spoilers. But before that, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Breaking the locks, Daniel finds a hatch with a ladder leading down. Mina descends the steps, followed by the others, who close the lid just as the Watchers break through the mirrored wall. The ladder leads the fugitives to a well-equipped laboratory resembling a bomb shelter. The previous occupant had been studying the Watchers. Mina sees a working computer with video logs of Professor Rory. The scientist talks about his research on the Watchers, how he built the fortified bunker, hired poor laborers from different towns, and then sacrificed them to the monsters. The professor managed to capture one of the creatures in a cage. Mina opens the last video recording and learns that the scientist grew attached to the captive fairy. After this, he decided to eliminate her and then himself. Finally, the professor explains that he left a boat at a river near one of the markers. To escape the forest, one must follow the direction of the bird's movement. If successful, he requests that his research at the university be destroyed. They decide to set out in the morning. Ciara chooses to celebrate their last night in captivity with a dance involving Daniel. During the dance, he shares that his father was abusive, beating him regularly. The young man ran away from home before ending up in the forest. In the morning, the captives emerge. The bunker's glass is shattered, the door broken down. Realizing there is nothing left for them there, they set out on their journey. They follow the markers Mina had left while mapping the area. Along the way, Madeline reminds them that the forest will try to deceive them, so they need to stay vigilant.
Remember what is real and what is not.
Soon, they reach a signpost. Mina takes the parrot out of its cage, relying on its bird instincts and magnetic sense to guide them. The bird obediently flies ahead, leading the group. They arrive at a stone seal depicting magical fairies. Madeline recalls a historical legend in which the monsters lost a war to humans and remain trapped in this forest. The walk turns unpleasant as it starts to rain. They encounter a flock of birds, leaving the dangerous area for the night. As it gets darker, the fairies emerge from their burrows. The group reaches the riverbank and finds the boat left by the professor. They run towards it when Daniel hears John calling his name and asking for help. The women don't notice Daniel falling behind. He pulls a wounded John from the forest, who is actually a shape-shifting fairy in disguise. The monster kills the young man right before the eyes of the women in the departing boat, then takes on his form. Looking back at the shore, the escapees see dozens of other mimics emerging from the forest, frustrated at missing their prey. The boat travels down the river all night. Waking up in the morning, Mina sees a bridge with a bus crossing it. When the next bus arrives, the women ask for a ride, still unable to believe they've escaped. Even the faithful parrot has returned to its cage. Once home, Mina takes a shower and reflects on the past, specifically the car accident with her mother. The next day, Mina went to the university. Introducing herself as Professor Rory's niece, she collected his records. On one of the tapes, the scientist explained that besides pureblood fairies, there were also half-bloods, hybrids with humans capable of changing their appearance and even disguising themselves as objects. Examining the photographs, the girl noticed something that surprised her. In the evening, Mina went to visit Ciara. She showed her an old photo of the professor dancing with his wife Madeline, who had died long before the bunker was built. Mina believed that the Madeline they knew was a watcher with immunity to sunlight. When the real Ciara appeared, it turned out that Mina had been talking to a disguised Madeline. The watcher knocked out the hostess and assumed Mina's identity, intending to take over her life. Mina convinced her that she was not just a fairy, but a human hybrid, capable of withstanding sunlight due to her compassion, and that other monsters did not accept her as their own. Yielding to persuasion, the Watcher involuntarily changed shape, regrowing the wings long lost by his people, and flew away. Afterward, Mina reconciled with her sister, telling her everything that had happened. She admitted that she believed Madeline had secretly watched over her, changing her appearance. The camera slowly zooms out the window, showing the altered Madeline and her kin watching over Mina. Thus ends the movie. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, and have a great day.